Hello, happy 4th of July, and welcome to my new video. Today I'm going to be continuing my Spider-Man theme with a figure, borrowing a figure of the Spider-Man from Spider-Man No Way Home, the integrated suit Spider-Man. Now this is a very interesting figure. Well, first you have the head. Now, the head, they go with the same style as most of the Spider-Man figures for the webs, for the most part. Just, have them around on the front and on the back. Works, pretty regular webbing. But now the main thing about the head that's interesting is the eyes. So, the eyes have some very interesting thing where they shade them a bit in a way that Lego itself doesn't normally do. It seems strange looking at it from some angles where the shading wouldn't really feature in that way, but it does show a lot of attention to detail. So, some upsides and some downsides to the shading of the eyes. Now, you have the chest as well. Now, I'd say the chest is where this figure really shines. It's a very detailed suit that really captures the look from the movie and really feels like an official figure with added detailing in a way that doesn't really hurt the figure for the most part. Now, notice a little bit of the detailing on the spider itself. That is the only detailing where I'd say there's a little bit of a oversaturation, which just doesn't really. Just the detailing on the gold spider in the middle does seem a bit much at points, where you can kind of see like it doesn't really fit, But other than that, I'd say the extra detail really makes the figure stand out. They do the arm print pretty well, I'd say, not bad. Giving you like the full arms from the movie, mostly black with the red and gold detailing. Now, it does give you a pretty good back print that also at a few points of the golden outline of the spider has some extra detailing inside of it that also at points feels kind of overdone, oversaturated, but not to the extent that the front has. Kind of, not a belt, but the golden at the bottom here does definitely work for the figure. Makes it kind of feel connected and makes it work very well. Sorry. The legs are also pretty good. And I'd say, while they don't look as exact as most of the torso does, the extra detailing does on the legs feel more accurate than it does on the chest, and feels like it just kind of fits and works much better. So, the legs here, you can see the lines on the black parts and the spider design, and you can see how the kind of gold intersects and fits with it all. Seems very good and really kind of detailed in the right way, more than the last one. More than the chest is what I mean. The shoes are the feet are interesting. They have a kind of like black area on the bottom, which I'm not completely sure fits well. Really does. It seems like they're trying to go for. It seems like they're trying to go for like how do I put this? For some like extra spaces like the bottom of the feet, and it just doesn't really fit. Makes it seem a bit off. Now, this figure does have back leg printing, which, as I said with my last figure review, is very rare for regular Lego figures, so it's really good seeing this here. Feels a bit overly detailed with the webs on the back, but otherwise seems just like pretty solid back leg printing. Seems to fit. Now, this figure does come with webs similar to similar to the last one. So here are the webs here. Now, the webs here I think are significantly better than they were for the last one. Now, like the last figure with the webs come out with it, start on at this piece to connect to his hand, so you can kind of have the webs coming out of Spider-Man's hand. But they use this different piece to kind of make the webs feel like they're kind of shooting out and haven't yet like fully strung. And it really works, really fits well, makes them feel organic and makes them feel real. This middle piece here, I really like. Then they just have two studs that connects that middle piece to the end piece of the web. Now, the end piece I also really love. It works a lot better than the last figure. If you'll recall, with the last Spider-Man figure I reviewed, I had my complaint with the webbing, which I felt was probably the weakest part of the figure, is that it seemed to kind of come out. It seemed the webbing didn't really fit. Kind of seemed to shoot out in multiple different directions, like they just took random web pieces and strung them together in a way that didn't fit. That does not apply here. Here it comes out in one thing and seems to come out in a similar way to how the webs would come out in an actual movie. They kind of shoot out and at a point kind of spread out, shoot differently. Now, this piece is interesting. I believe this is an official Lego piece they used, but I don't have any yet until having gotten this figure. Now, this piece does have extra ways to connect to the hand. As you can see here, the two ends of the web connect to minifigure hands. So you can really get Spider-Man to kind of hold the webs, or kind of maybe connect them into the hand to make it seem like it's stuck to someone, or connect the pieces to make it seem like it's stuck to a wall or a truck or anything. But I feel two of the pieces on this web really stick out as a significantly better web than the last one. I'd say here, more than the last figure, the kind of detailing at some points is like overdone, makes it feel a little messy. But other than that, I would say this is a really good figure. If you can get a good price, then this is definitely a buy. So, enjoy our next video, which will be on Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. See you next week.